we're here with a very special guest. We have the UN Youth Champion. Who has gone around the world for quite some time now. And now she's here in Helsinki. Yes. And I wanted to know, Monique, what is the UN Youth Champion doing?
Well, you know, when I was appointed the first ever Youth Champion, I felt like living in the United States kind of gave me a limited understanding or perspective on the rest of the world. And so I decided to embark on a 6-month world tour where I am doing speaking engagements, I'm visiting schools, I'm visiting slum areas, I am volunteering, literally volunteering with different organizations, especially like UNICEF, UNHCR, observing projects, and really just trying to grow in my understanding of what young people experience all around the world.
And we are celebrating the International Year of Youth.
Yes.
For the second time around now.
Yes.
And what does it mean for young people around the world?
Well, the theme of the year is actually dialogue and mutual understanding. And I think that what it means is that our largest international organization has decided to focus on young people. And I think that is a great idea because with the Millennium Development Goals approaching in 2015, I think it's so important to really reach our untapped potential. And I think that that exists in youth. I think young people have a lot of time, they have a lot of energy, thoughts, creativity. And if you are to harness that and put that towards achieving the Millennium Development Goals, it makes us that much closer to actually doing it.
And you have met a lot of young people
Yes.
during the year. What has been your impression? What is the state of young people in the world today?
You know, I think it's not as bad as we would think. You know, what I'm realizing is that our place is really determined by our attitude. So I've met some young people in some really dire situations who have resilience and such a positive outlook on life. And I've met some young people who have everything that they could possibly want or need and feel in some way that they are suffering. So I think that the most important thing as I make my way around the world is really to help young people to free themselves of the mental blocks that keep them from doing things, to help them to realize that everything that they could possibly need is already within them. They just have to look inside of themselves and figure out what their purpose is, and every single day wake up and take steps in that direction.
So how can young people really discover their potential and like you said?
Yeah, you know, I think the first thing is to figure out what you're passionate about, you know? Like, I think that your greatest assets and gifts really lie on the other side of being authentic, being truthful about what you really like. And if what you like is something, you know, deep and meaningful or something that someone might consider shallow, there's always a possibility to have social impact in every single thing that you do. And so I think that's the first step. And in developed countries such as this here in Finland, I think it's good for young people to volunteer because by giving your time, you start to really see and become more aware of some of the problems in the world. And that just gives you, I think, personal fulfillment and a little bit more perspective as to what exactly you can do to help.
And what is the role of young people in their societies today? Do they have any special function?
You know, I think that the function of young people is to be young. And one thing that I think we lose as we get older is we lose our ability to make decisions with pure intentions. I think as you get older, you start sometimes focusing on money, you start focusing on your family and your responsibilities and all these things that are very important. But when you're young and you just are living from your heart, you know, I think that that's where you still have the possibility of having new thoughts. And we have new problems in the world, and I think that we need young people to contribute to these problems or to contribute to the solutions because they still have the ability to have brand new thoughts. And I think that that is very, very important.
What would your message to all the young people around the world be if you could reach them in one time? At what time?
You know, my message to young people would be to never stop believing in limitless possibility. That at some point we start thinking that we come up with excuses as to why we can't do something or why the world is this way or why things are hard. And the reality, in my opinion, is that none of those things are true. And I think that young people believe that anything is possible. And if you look in the sky and there's an airplane in the sky, that is because somebody believed that anything was possible. If you have a computer and you go onto Facebook and you see that there's billions of people that are all gathered together, you will see that there's limitless possibility. And so I think that, what I want young people to do is to continue to believe that we can absolutely do anything, and then to not expect that the world is going to give you something, but that everything that you give to the world is what comes back to you. So do the work hard, and be your best.
Okay, thanks, Monique.
Absolutely.